We'll let that settle and come back to it. But this is like popping the lid off of a, I don't know, 2-year-old jar, but it's an aquarium instead. More than I expected there to be. There is a ton. Hello world, how's it going? Hope you guys are all doing great. If not, as always, hope it gets better for you. So it's been about 2 years since we set this pond up here. It's been holding. And you know what? It's done a great job for being a retirement home for like my goofy fish and my bigger fish, my older breeders, my elders. Somewhere there they can run and live in paradise. The one thing with the viewing panel, you know, the more you rub on it, the more you wear it down. And once the algae gets a hold of it, it's a lot harder to scrub it off. You can still kind of see through it, you know. I almost did pop it once. I hit a corner into that. Scared me. So to me, I don't know. This is a ticking time bomb. I used some really sturdy Gorilla Glue tape to kind of keep it from spreading, hold things together. I've been running a lot of way too much light on this thing. Usually I ran 2, but I was trying to penetrate through, down, under for the rest of these other plants. Mostly for this one little one here, this Marcellia minuta, which is a clover plant. And it's been stretching towards this, so I've been amping up the light, and I could really, I love all these other plants. I can clean them up and salvage them. Algae really is no issue. Well, there's one of the female killifish. But there is a ton of fish in here as well. And we're gonna get all those out. We're gonna break this down, go through here, see what all's in here. I'm gonna have to make new setups for this too, so better get comfy, get something to eat, get a snack, because we gotta get into these as well and move these out, this whole area. Now, although I am taking this out, we will be replacing it with something even cooler down the line and down the road. But for now, we're going to house everything over into this space so we can open all this up for that future project. Which, of course, I got tubs and tanks on this side too. And, of course, I got tubs over here as well. But luckily, most of these don't really have anything in it. Well, I hope I do find something in it, because it's supposed to be blue gularis killifish, which are now in here. And I'm going to have to move them out. I'll give them space here in my fry rack with the rest of my killifish. And I have these totes here, 110-gallon totes. So each one of those is 110 gallons. So that's going to give me 310 gallons worth of water. Be able to separate them out. It won't be too much of a like, oh, you're going into a 75 or some other smaller space. And what I like about these two is most of the gallons is towards the top of the tub, which gives it more surface area. This is actually better for your fish to have more of that top surface, because a lot of mine, they're not bottom dwellers. Unless they're bottom dwellers like Cory cats or something, then it would make a difference. But either way, I like how it cones out. And I feel like it gives them more space. First thing first, you gotta break these down, double check them, make sure there's no babies just hidden off in them. These are supposed to be rainbow rice fish eggs, if they had left any. Now, the good thing with rainbows is their babies come up to the top. But I'm not seeing none. They don't get much light in here either. Not seeing anything in here as well. Very slow, get under. Stir things around if they are hidden underneath there. Sucks having to rush this kinda, but these two have actually kind of had plenty of time of whether they're gonna do something. Oh, that kind of smells a little. Algae and stuff starts dying because there's not enough light. I don't know. Either way, let's clean these out, catch those blue gularis, I'll show them to you. Yeah. Yeah, it's got a little smell to it, so that tells me that algae's dying in it. Plant material is dying in it, and that can sour your water. There's just not enough light, too much plant material. So there is a fine line with that. And as I pour this slowly, I can watch to make sure I'm not pouring any baby fish or anything else if it was in there. Once again, this has a slight funk to it. So if your water does have a funk to it, you're going to want to do water changes. You're going to want to either put more lights on for your plants, change the water. Not much. It's just had too much plant material in it. Not enough light. And if you guys have ever smelled broken down plant material, it is nasty. Alright, getting there. Alright, now to get the blue gularis out of here. There's one. I gotta get my net wet, let it settle first, then go for him. Oh, that's the male. Come here, old boy. Just like that, there he is. Beautiful, beautiful baby. Now these can last a while out of the water. Actually want to let them get their piss and vinegar out of them. Teach them that, hey, jumping's not really a good option. You don't want to be out of the water. They do that in nature, so I'm not hurting them. But I do need to drop that water level. Way low for them guys. Alright, found the female hiding underneath the algae there. Oh, got her. Looking pretty chubby. Eventually want to get these guys outside. That way they'll have a lot of live food out there and really be apt to breed. Alright, let's lower this water level here. Yeah, they're gonna need a little more plants. I got a bunch of this pilomoss floating in here, which I already got pilomoss on the bottom there, so this will combo it well. Smells good. This will help make them feel a little more comfortable with the top of the water and everything. Get it spread out here, that way it covers more area, has more room to grow. Leave it a big mass. Ooh, excuse me. I'm just kidding, that was my drain there. But there we go, now we got a floater, we got a little more in there for them. Put it on back, actually it's going to sink, but even if it does sink, more moss. More space for them. That'll do it for their new setup. Alright, got that space. Oh, looks good under there. It's going to start getting a little tight in here with that stuff because you can see the space between these. I have to probably finagle some things. And I need to take these out and give them a little rinse before I get them going in here. Gonna let them dry out. Alright, tubs are clean. Area vacuumed and cleaned. And they are set. Had to do some maneuvering, move things around to get a squeeze to the wall. It is a bit of a squeeze here, so I did offset this one. That way I can get better around there. Now this is only temporary, this isn't forever. So I don't mind squeezing the space for now. I can still get around. That and who knows, maybe I'll get some for that space while I'm waiting to build it. I can always build around it. I don't know. Might be more motivated to do it if nothing was in its way too. But anyways, time to get these all set up. Let's get some sand in them and get the substrates going. And for the substrate, I'm going to use good old yard sand dirt. You can see I got some redder stuff here from this redder side of the pile. Lighter stuff here from the lighter pile. I think I'm going to put the redder, darker stuff towards the bottom. Cap it more with the lighter stuff. Alright, substrate has been raked and added. Took 4 or 5 gallon per each. Now I've got it set up here so it doesn't splash the substrate too much and kick things around, and fill them up. It's gonna take a while. Right, they are filled up. Whoop whoop. Now, time to start working on this bad boy. Oh man, it served very well for almost 2 years now. And honestly, it feels just weird to even be doing this. And I should have ran it with just a couple lights. I have been running it with these 4 lights, just blasting it. Jeez, that wind is crazy outside right now. But if you can see down here, look at all this root material for this pogo stemon. I could almost just plant that. If I can get the algae out of that, that would be a great starter mat. Which I think I'm gonna use this tank over here for those. If you guys saw my other video where I set up this planted tank, these guys are doing good. The water's still a bit cloudy. Could use a water change, but the plants in it are doing good, so that's what's important. We'll eventually grow all this out to where the water's not so cloudy. And also update on this one. Also, a quick update on the albino rice fish. Tons of babies in this tank. So I'll still give this some time, see what comes up, if any more come out, but we'll have to get that tank going soon too. Even though that's like ultimate breeding tank. All right, so first thing first, since I want to save all this root material, I'm going to start from the bottom and push and pull through. See how that's all popping up? Just like that. It's so easy. This is why I don't worry about algae. Algae's so easy to clean off. It's not a big deal. Look how beautiful that is. This whole thing will look like that. Oh, a thermometer. I've been needing one of these. I'll get this algae out of here. Although this is a big mess and it'd be nice to just rip into it and do whatever, it is good that I take my time and be meticulous, because I do get nice goodies like this that I can plant elsewhere. This is that clover plant. Might as well grab that stuff and go ahead and replant it. Alright, so that one piece, look at this one piece. It's like one long, there's this like real long rhizome. Pogo stemon, you can see it right here in the middle. This whole thing is connected by this thick stem that is just running. It is wild. It is one massive piece of pogo stemon. That's just a little bit that's in here. Well, that's the biggest main piece. Rest are just like little babies from it. And you can see the CPDs playing in it. How cool. You don't seem to be scared of me. Who said CPDs were shy? As much as I would love to throw this in one of the big tub ponds, if I would have had more of them, I would. But I think I'm going to try to stick it in this 40 gallon. I don't know, it may be too big for that. Shoot, I could plant that 40 gallon with the scraps. This is the hard part. Now I do have a couple options. I can clear out that 75, or I could clear out that 55. Probably do the 75, but that's a whole mission in itself. There's probably dwarf neon rainbow fish eggs all over that thing. That's That's really about my only options in here. But you know, it always can't just be that simple. So I don't know. I'll show you if anything cool comes out of that. I do know I gotta clear this out, which there's a mole manite crypt in there. There's maybe a Matano rice fish or two left behind. And the problem becomes, which my other setup for mole manite crypt is this. So my two mole manite tanks are getting disrupted. I'm gonna have to put this somewhere. I don't know. I got a place for the fish. But now I gotta figure out a mole manite crypt tank. This is how it happens, like run out of tank space real quick. But back here, do have these 40 gallons, a couple 40 gallons, which then again, that becomes a whole setup thing. It becomes a whole setup video. Decisions. I guess for now, we'll just grab what's left here. Oh, it doesn't even feel very strong. It feels real weak. Because it had been buried underneath algae for the longest time while fish grew out. And adults have babies. Alright, so they're not very big. They will get big. I'm going to just stick them in here. Float them for now. Actually, I can just stick them to the algae, though. Believe it or not, they'll grow like that. Then that'll remind me to rehome them sooner than later. Well, maybe they'll stick. Come on. Put you guys down here. Because if you let them float, they can grow all crooked. There we go. I'll save them for a while. And I need to do a water change scrape on this. The only problem is my pump's not working on this side for some reason. Oh, there's a Matano. Came right up to me like, hey, I'm lonely. Ooh, come on, buddy. There we go. That's good. Got him easy. So that one is done. I'm leaving some space here because I'm going to be adding a lot more plants. Plus, I'm maybe adding more sand. But for that big piece, I definitely think I need this 75 gallon over there. So I'm going to dig into that. Now to clean out the 75, I mean, you can't even see it. Granted, the light's mostly behind it, so that doesn't help seeing in it. But all the algae, guppy grass mix. There's a few good sized Anubias in there, it looks like. There's some of the dwarf neons. But this has produced, I don't know how many dwarf neon rainbows for me. Tons of them, because they'll just community breed in here when it's warm. So it's kind of bittersweet cleaning this up because it's been very, very, very productive for me. But I also know it's going to be part of the gallery section area. So, I mean, I need to make it look kind of nice. Well, my braiding. If I had space to put this stuff, I mean, maybe I'll put it outside. Just save it, because I know there's eggs all over it. I need more of them tubs. See, I need more tanks and I need more tubs. What do you guys think? There's a nice little rhizome, just saving that barely. Just plop it in there. Alright. Shoot. That's why it's always so difficult. I kind of need to just do it. So I can always get more eggs out of them later. Yeah. Let's do it. And luckily, I mean, I guess not luckily, but I don't see babies all over the place in here. Really any. There is one little tiny one there. Dang, so it does mean there's eggs somewhere. Oh, never mind. Scratch that theory. It's always a rock and a hard place with this. And the Anubias got quite a few pieces out of it. I'm just plunking them in the sides of this tank. Eventually this will get some of the catfish that are in the pond. Wow, this is where a big one had broken down. Look at all the small ones that came from it. Jeez. I've never seen that before. Like, there was probably a big one right here. See how it's just been kind of eating off itself. Because just not enough light. It's been buried for so long underneath the other plant material. This is a survivor plant though. Get it back. That is wild. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Might as well split that up some actually. I can just start plucking all these kind of in these holes. This. Hold them down, hold them in place, get them growing and going. We'll figure it out from there. Pulling all the roots out from up underneath this. That way I can keep it all together in one clump. Now that I got the Anubias out, we'll have to shake the shrimp out. Make sure I don't have them all trapped. Same with any fish. Just bring it up slow. Mysteries now. Kind of feel it on my way through. Also look through it through the light. That way I can see if there's any shrimp. Trying to hold on for dear life. This was pretty much the substrate in itself. Oh, there's a shrimp. Shrimp's on it. Open it up, give it a little shake. Alright, that is cleared out, reset. Still got some scraping to do. See, there's quite a bit of dwarf neons in there. They're like, what in the world? But in the long run, this will look better because it won't stick out like my algae tanks do. I mean, this one doesn't look that bad from afar. I mean, granted, there's a little algae in there, but it's growing its way. They all have their purpose. Like the algae in here, it's great for the ropefish. All right, time to get this big old chunky piece out of there. Got it scraped. It's gonna go into that 75, which is looking a lot better. I didn't even do a water change. Let's see that skull of dwarf neon. This thing's crazy. Look at that. Oh my God. It's heavy, hard not to break it. And this is at least as long as that tank. I think I'm just gonna run it over there. I was gonna hold the bucket, but this thing is way bigger than that bucket. Holy moly. I have to like thread this through without breaking it. This is gonna be tricky. So I can't really let go of it. There we go. Come on, baby. Don't break, don't break. You can always flip it back over whenever I get it settled here. There we go. And like Flynn. We did it. Yeah. Let's pull it across here. Honestly, in here, and I'm going to have to fill into the middle of the substrate, and I'm going to pull all of the middle substrate towards the front so I can root it down and hold it down a little bit because it just wants to float. Now, I could just let it float, but it's going to do much better if I get some weight on it and root it down a little bit. Well, that made a quick escape out of that. We'll let that settle and come back to it. But this is like popping the lid off of a, I don't know, 2-year-old jar, but it's an aquarium instead. This thing has had maybe only a couple water changes throughout the years. And I hardly do much with it. I just throw a lot of food into it and pump a lot of light. But we can finally see in it, and oh my God, look at all these fish. There's a massive amount of shellies in here. There's a lot more in here than I expected there to be. There is a ton. A ton. I may need a pond just for all those, because that's only part of them. See the Synodontis cats here. Everybody's like, what's going on? There's light, there's open space. Ooh, look at that rainbow, he's darting. Make it quick, buddy. But all right, I'm gonna start pulling the rest of this off. We'll get a real good look at it. Start with some of this smaller stuff here that doesn't have really any algae on it. Has a little bit, but I don't think I have to mess with it too much. Let's pick it off. This cleaner stuff we're gonna put in this 40-gallon we got ready earlier. We'll settle that out here soon. Maybe pick a little bit from here. And this looks good. And see, most of this is garbage. It's just too much work picking through it. When it gets too bad, I don't know. Sometimes it's just not even worth the work. Always grow more. Look how many stems are on this thing. Let's just pluck it in and go. Alright, so here we go. We're going to clear all this out here. Nice and slow. Try to get everything all together if I can. As much as possible. Pull this off the wall. That way I got one end started from the start. It's about to get crazy in here. Roll this up. Alright, there's one chunk. You gotta go slow. Make sure no fish get stuck in it as usual. You never know, they just do dumb things. Okay, that just all came through. Get that off the bottom. Kind of twirl it all together here before I pull it out so it ain't so messy. It kind of twirled to itself. Jeez. He's huge. this breeding container out of here. Get out of there, fella. There's a bunch of them in there. Get out of there. I need to reset this. This is what I used to breed the Sanodonus lucipinus catfish with. I think the shellies and stuff usually go in and eat the eggs anymore, though. I was actually expecting that to be a lot grosser than what it was. Well, there we go. Yeah, clean out the rest of this algae. We'll have a look at it. This is pretty easy too. Just run my hands through it. Pull it on through. Man, that's a lot of Heteroi grip. Oh my goodness. So there's a lot of plants down here. Crip, Nuri Rosa Maiden. Then you got the Bulbitis and the Hutulati. A lot of that cloverleaf stuff. Alright, here it is, the aftermath. Actually seeing it. Now I should probably change the water. It is looking a bit dingy. The fact that I pulled a bunch of water out too. Or that I pulled a bunch of plants out too, I don't know. I mean, it'll probably be alright, but it wouldn't hurt to give it a little freshy fresh. Of course, my pump's not working on this end, and I'm gonna have to make a special hose for it to get it out and out the door. It's dark now, so probably gonna wait till tomorrow to mess with that. Which gives me time to fix this pond here because I got a little wet spot down there. I'm guessing it is, and it looks like it's coming from the little nozzle they got there. Well, it goes a little deeper than this, but we'll continue that on the next video. I'll be coming out with that for you guys. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate you all watching. Until next time, everybody, peace. Have a great one.